Another thing about it and the technology that Rumsfeld and Epstein used to disable their victims, in some of the more recent depictions of it, he has these like tentacles coming out of his head that have that little bulb at the end. They have nanotech that looks exactly like that. Um, it starts off looking like a hand, like that, to be honest, and it's very tiny, but it spreads into fiber optics inside your skin. It stings, it delivers electrical shocks, it burns, um, it itches, it's very painful, it burrows in, it replicates. This is the shit they're injecting into into the drainage system of my eyes. They did this simultaneously while they were literally infecting me with various strains of COVID and other viruses also. Multiple viral strains. They were injecting me to things that I am deathly allergic to. And then they were also using Rumsfeld's bioweapons, which are just straight up chemicals. He developed them in Vietnam and experimented on Southeast Asians with it. He experimented on my father, who was in Vietnam. He experimented on my husband. We're no longer together, but that's my daughter's father. He is Lao. And he experimented on him in Laos. I'm not even sure if he knows that. But he experimented on his entire family. I really doubt that he knows that Rumsfeld is the one who destroyed his family. His mother died with cancer that Rumsfeld gave her. Rumsfeld told me this himself. He had two mothers and he had two fathers. Rumsfeld killed all of them before he turned 15, okay? This is in the middle of the secret war in Laos. Then, and he's wandering around Laos on his own as a kid trying to find all of these people, right? And then, every time he gets to the village, they just died. This is Rumsfeld torturing him, okay? And at the same time this is going on with him, it was going on, my father was in Vietnam being experimented on, also by Rumsfeld. And other people that we are related to, same thing. They served in Vietnam. They were being experimented on by Rumsfeld. That's why they're in our life. This is how Rumsfeld moved, okay? He controlled everyone I was around. And this is the type of shit that he did to us. He tortured us, okay? After the last parent died, he left and made his way into Thailand to the camps. And there he stayed until he came here. And it was decades later when I finally met him. And we decided to get together. Well, not really. He saved my life, actually, is what happened. Because they had me locked down, just like this, isolated and being tortured. And he stepped in. And, his whole community was like, we know what's going on. I know they didn't know the entire story, but they definitely knew about the people who were, targeting me. I was drugged. I was raped. It was streamed. I was tortured. I was abused. And they wouldn't let me out of the house. I even had a miscarriage in that process. And so he stepped in and he saved me. And, we became a family. My son adored him. He adored my son. He kept them off of me for a long time. I had my daughter. We went to the monk at a little tiny Buddhist temple and had a little ceremony that I didn't even understand was happening because I didn't speak the language. Literally. But he protected me for as long as he could. And then Rumsfeld, again, finally stepped in along with, those same predators. And I don't even know what happened to him. I still don't know. But, Rumsfeld has been torturing my life now my entire life, but in this manner, every second of my life. He only allows me around people that he can control. Like, for instance, with him, he had been torturing him his entire life. So he knew how to control him. He knew how to manipulate him. He knew how to trigger him. And he was easily triggered by him thinking that I was cheating on him. People were always trying to get him to think that I was cheating on him because people were lying and telling him that I was a prostitute. He believed it. He thought, and there was a huge language barrier. He didn't even speak English. And the huge cultural barrier, we still made it work, but it was outside influence that tortured us to destroy that. So this is the type of shit that Rumsfeld has done to me my entire life. So when you look at this shit that goes on in the Epstein files, you have to remember that no, Epstein wasn't the only one. Rumsfeld was Epstein's boss. And those types of things did not just happen to young white girls. They have been targeting Black America. We're their primary target, period, because they need our bodies, our melanin, our blood, the things that make us who we are. They claim to be superior, but the reality is they're quite inferior because they are so heavily inbred. They're so inbred that they are no longer human, if they ever were at all. And they need our genetic material to appear like they are. Look deeper, because this has been going on for a very long time. People have always talked about it, and you've always ignored it. Next steps, open a box. Let's talk about the wild men of the field.